Hi, welcome to Up the Park, a football podcast. Welcome to Up the Park, a football podcast.
My name's Sean,
My name's Brendan.
and on this podcast we're just going to talk all things football. Mostly Scottish football, as we are two Scottish boys that are big Hearts fans. Both got our season tickets, and we'll bring in you week-to-week talks on the Hearts games. We'll also sort of talk over Scottish football itself and touch on some of the English game.
Firstly, let's talk about the Hearts game today then, Sean. What do you think?
Fantastic performance. I'd say one of the best performances of the season, going by what we've seen today. Brilliant performance from most of the team. What we're going to do is in a little bit of time we're going to go over some of the ratings for the players that we're given today and see what we think they actually deserve based on the performance.
So what did you think before the weekend? Did you think that Livingston was going to be a hard game, or...?
After the Ross County game and the 2-2 draw, I was a little bit sceptical, and the fact that Livy just came off the back of beating Celtic not too long ago. I was a little bit worried, but to be honest, Livingston gave absolutely nothing today. They didn't look like a team that would give us any problems.
Yeah, that David Martindale said after the game that they had 3 big games during the week, so maybe that did help us a little bit, but they just didn't look any good. They were kicking balls over to Shinnie all the time, wasn't getting a header on any of it.
No.
It was woeful.
It was a bad performance. I was kind of hoping for a more competitive game, but at the end of the day, when you're a Hearts fan, you sit down in the stadium to watch us dominate a game like we did today. I mean, looking at some of the stats, it was a dominating performance.
Yeah. I've never seen Hearts do that dominant in a long time. They were so good on the ball. Everybody was good. The first 10 minutes was a bit off, but the rest of it was fantastic.
I think in the first 10 minutes we were expecting them to come onto us a lot more.
Yeah.
But I think after the first 10 minutes the players realised that if we actually put our foot down, hit the gas and up a gear, we can take this game to them, and we really did. It was an outstanding performance today.
So who would you say is a standout performer?
Standout performer today, I think, was the boy's first start, I think it was.
Yeah.
Cammy Devlin.
Yeah,
Nicky Devlin.
He plays for Livingston.
Cammy Devlin, absolutely brilliant player.
Yeah.
What a
fantastic.
player. I think we mentioned as well, Ryan McGowan came out and said that Devlin will give you energy, and that is all we saw today.
That was on the Scars Are in the Funnel podcast. He was on saying that in Australia it was just all the time energy all the time, gave you everything. So if we bought him for 50 grand like they say they did, I'll be well chuffed with that. Like,
it was some performance.
It's a good performance. Like, hopefully he performs week in, week out, but at least Hearts have got an actual squad this time that is actually good. I've got a whole squad, all 16, 17 players are quality players that could play week in, week out.
They definitely could. And I mean, we've seen some of it today when they were just taking free kicks, they were having laughs with each other. And when there was a penalty in the game, which was a challenge on Benny Beningame, but he got up and him and Cammy Devlin were having a laugh about the whole situation, because they just knew that the way that they played got that danger into the box to give the opportunity to win a penalty, and it was a stonewall penalty. So it was a really it was a fantastic performance, and it's something that I'd love to see week in, week out.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, me and Sean are quite vocal about how Hearts should have played last weekend against Ross County. It just isn't good enough. But in the grand scheme of things, being second in the league after 7 games, not losing, 4 wins, 3 draws, especially away to St Mirren, away to Dundee United, at home to Celtic, it's pretty good.
Saying that, this performance is the best performance of the season, but I think the best result of the season, other than obviously the Celtic game, because that was something else, but St Mirren game, beating them away from home.
Yeah, away from home. Since I think it was 2009 was the last time we'd beat St Mirren away.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. These are the games that Hearts 3 seasons ago wouldn't be winning.
Even last season.
Yeah, even last season when it wasn't that great.
Our championship performance was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was abysmal, I would say. Yeah, it wasn't good enough.
We done what we had to do. Robbie Nielsen got himself in there, and he said that, I want this season is to get promoted, and we did. But watching the team this season and thinking that we were drawing, and we got part of the cup last season. It was Cofer Rangers, wasn't it?
Brora Rangers.
Brora Rangers. And you're thinking to yourself, that is not the same team that I'm watching this season. They're completely different. The new formation that Robbie's picked, and I was skeptical of Robbie Nielsen when he first started, but he's massively changed.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think any fan can be sceptical of Robbie Neilson after these performances. I would think it'll find very few Hearts fans will actually still want his heed. I understand before, but now with this formation and the way these players are playing and the passing, and it's so different to a Robbie Neilson side of 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Even last season.
Yeah.
Even the Championship side last season. He inherited a squad that was just old, too big. The squad was huge. He's cut it down. I was looking at the match programme today. We've got less players in the squad than Livingston have.
Yeah, and Livingston are...
And Hearts are meant to be the fourth biggest club.
We've got
biggest
budget.
club.
We've got a budget to get 25 players,
yeah,
but
and we just don't have them. So it's at least we're getting quality rather than quantity all the time. And players like Cammy Devlin coming in, and it challenges Haring and it challenges McInnes to perform better. You know, I wouldn't be surprised to see Devlin and Benny in midfield next weekend, because the performance today, you know, it puts Haring out of the game, but he'll perform better the next time when he gets a chance.
I've never seen a player like Cammy Devlin today come into that team. It was his first start at Tynecastle, and he was actually vocal, shouting at players. Yeah. Shouting at players like Halkett, who've been there for years, and demanding the ball of them and telling them what to do. He just looked like an all-round complete player. He can take the ball right in front of your front four or front five, take the ball there, find the pass. 1-2s all over the park, and then he's the same sort of player who can do that outside the opposition's area. And to have a player who can do that box to box,
it's fantastic for Hearts.
We've been missing.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing I think that we've been missing this season, is a player that gets the ball from Benny or gets the ball from defence and goes forward. Benny's a recycler. He gets the ball and he passes it away. He's not a playmaker. He doesn't go box to box. Although today he was more attacking. I could see him make more runs, make more forward passes.
I think you could give that credit to Livingston not coming at us.
Well,
that's
very true.
They gave him that option. But massive shout out to Michael Smith as well.
Yeah.
33 years old, absolute tank of a man.
Yeah. It's unbelievable.
His goal today was brilliant. He was almost playing central midfield for like 90% of the game. Every time I was looking for him, he was right in the middle of the park, finding passes, dictating, and he's just one of those players. Get him a contract. He needs a contract.
Yeah, I'm amazed at that. I read today on Evening News that Halkett, Smith, Gordon, Suter, and Kingsley are all out of contract next season.
Yeah.
So who would you give a contract to right now?
When you think of that as well, you've got Moore, Woodburn, and Cochrane, who are all on loan, so they're definitely leaving. Contract straight away. Out of all of them, needs to be Suter. Even if he gives us one more season and goes and gets us some money in the door, because he loves the club and what we've done for him. Suter needs the contract, but Michael Smith deserves a lifetime contract.
Yeah, I love Michael Smith. He's the unsung hero.
He actually is.
For the past 3-4 seasons.
I don't think he even missed a game last season.
He's
in the Championship.
He's a quality player, and he's took to this right wing back role fantastically.
Yeah.
Like, people are saying that he's not that player, but you know, he wasn't that player to start off with, but I think he's grown into the position.
Yeah.
He has more freedom when we have three centre-backs in there. He has more freedom to go up, look for these passes, get into position in the penalty box to score a goal.
He was in the penalty box a few times. I mean, I think when he was playing, when Barry Mackay was on this side, there was a few runs being made, and Smith was trying to get in behind, and Barry Mackay was trying to find him, and I was like, this is amazing to watch Michael Smith, 33 years old, absolutely tanking it past. Yeah. I think the boy that plays for Livingston, the left back, early 20s. Michael Smith was giving him a game.
He was rinsing him all game. That's the second shot from Michael Smith as well from outside the box. That's fantastic.
That's one thing I must say actually. The Livingston goalkeeper Struick, I think his name is, pulled off an absolutely fantastic save to a Stephen Kingsley free kick. And he stopped Barry Mackay as well. Barry Mackay was clean through on goal. Probably tried a bit too much to chip him.
I think Barry Mackay should have done better. He should have, to be honest.
He could have, watching the highlights back, he could have easily went round the goalkeeper and slotted it in, or just blasted it. But he tried to chip him and be a bit cheeky. But the Struick boy had it, saved it. Really good
fantastic.
Save. Other than the 3 goals, he had a really good game, the goalkeeper.
Yeah, he was good. He was good. Gordon didn't have anything to do.
No, I don't think.
What, did Livingston have one shot?
No, I think if I think about it, I think Gordon only made really basic pick-up saves. I don't think he actually was stopped in any way, shape, or form. Have a look here. The shots in front of us here. So they had 3 shots and 1 on
They had
target.
3 shots and 1 on target.
So I think most of them were just crosses coming at the box, and he was just collecting.
Yeah, he just didn't do.
I mean, even from thinking back on the game, I can't even remember the Livingston shot.
Nah.
No.
Shinnie was up there by himself, and they didn't help him.
No.
Livingston set up for a 0-0 draw at the start.
Yeah.
And they paid for it. Hearts were dominant.
Yeah, it was
really dominant.
Yeah, it was really good. I mean, we're looking at the starting 11 here for Livingston now, and out of all the players that were there, I don't think I could actually name a player who had a solid performance. You can even say you can watch a team get beat 3 or 4-0.
That Obalai, the centre back for Livingston, kept Boyce quiet.
He did keep Boyce quiet, but he also played the pass that Barry Mackay got through him. Obalai.
Yeah, that's true.
He made the pass, and it was a very loose pass. I think it was to Fitzwater, and Barry Mackay just took the ball, and that's when he should have scored.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's got down here they were playing a 4-4-2, but I don't think they were.
No, it was like a 4-5-1. I think.
Yeah, I don't think Bailey was playing up front
with
Shinnie, and I don't know why Shinnie was playing up front in the first place.
Yeah.
Shinnie was actually, that's one thing we need to talk about, is Livingston were very dirty. 22 fouls.
22 fouls.
22 fouls, and the referee.
The ref was shocking today.
The referee let him away with so much.
Yeah, it really was.
Shinnie took out Kingsley on multiple occasions, and they were just it's just niggly tackles, just leaving in a little bit extra.
Yeah.
There was actually one in the first half. I think it was on Cammy Devlin, where the boy came through him. He took the ball, but as he took the ball, he lifted his flag up and studded him right above his. It was right under his knee, right in front of the referee, and the referee just. No, I'm not having that. And he just let the game go. And I was like, you could actually see like Cammy Devlin standing there, massive dirt mark right across where the studs went. And yeah, he wasn't happy about that. But I
think the only yellow card of the game was the handball from the free kick, was it?
I think he booked one more.
Oh, he booked it right at the end, didn't he?
Right towards the end for pulling.
The midfielders for Livingston were all over Benny and all over Woodburn. Woodburn had a quiet game.
Yeah, Woodburn was quiet today.
He was all right. He contributed some passes and some good movement, but
he's really good outside. Like, what he needs, he's obviously got the talent, or Liverpool wouldn't want to keep him on the books. But his best position seems to be just outside the box.
Yeah.
And then just with his back to goal, he's really good at just taking it and laying off a pass and taking it and laying off a pass. And I think the long and short of things is Barry Mackay will thrive on that.
Yeah.
If he's playing off the front, but we don't normally play that. That sort of formation. We've normally got the 2 wide boys out wide, so we might not see Woodburn as a natural attacking midfielder, more to a wing. He was playing quite right wing.
Yeah, he was. Today. He was.
He was in the right a lot.
The problem with Woodburn is that there's glimpses. There's glimpses of why Liverpool have got him on the books, but then there's 80% of not why they should have him on the books. You know, he's good in moments. You know, at Hibs there was moments. Like that shot and a couple of these really good passes through to Gary Mackay-Steven.
He had a really good game against Hibs. He played really well,
and then against Livingston, where you expect Woodburn and Mackay and Gary Mackay-Steven to thrive in these games, because you're not up against defenders like Doidge, who's rated at 4 million to go to Watford at the January. You're not against Hanlon, who's a centre back for Scotland. You're against, you know, in all due respect, Livingston defenders who probably aren't the best.
No, what was it?
Obalai played for Queen of the South last season.
Queen of the South last season, stepping up to the Premier League.
It's not the best quality. Mackay had a really good game. He had a dodgy first 15, 20 minutes.
Some of his touches were
some of the Hearts touches for the first 10 minutes were awful.
Yeah, where we were sitting, there was a few people around us when it was kicking off, and they were all saying, first 10 minutes, there was like, this game's got 0-0 written all over it, just for how slow Hearts were playing. But I think, like I said before, is they realised after the first 15 minutes, actually, they're not even trying here. They're sitting in for a draw, and we just had that little extra gear to step up and just do something. And the players we needed to perform today, like your Barry Mackays, who's basically it's only second start, I think. Your Woodburns, who I think it was, you don't think he started that much this season so far.
No.
Moore, his first game as well. And you're thinking, these are the players now that need to step up and really win this game. And Cammy Devlin stepped up today.
Yeah, big time.
I mean, and even Cochrane, the left
Cochrane
back,
was fantastic.
His goal.
I think he gets better and better every single week I see him. I think
Yeah,
he does.
he does.
He
He
gets
does.
better and better. Every time he gets more first team games, he is doing a lot better.
Well, he's
He
a
will
young
be
lad.
playing.
He's only 21.
He's only. I don't think he's doing 20.
No, he's a young lad.
He's young. He'll be playing like big games soon in a couple of years. I think. I think he's good enough to get there.
Well, if he keeps it up like this, and he keeps playing like this, I mean, he's on loan from Brighton.
Yeah.
And Brighton are having a really good season in the Premier League. I think they're sitting in the top 4.
Top 5. Oh,
Top
yeah.
five.
Top five.
Brighton have a good season. Graham
Yeah.
Potter's always been a good
Yeah,
manager,
he's a
so
good
it's good to
manager.
see. So yeah, Cochrane's 21, and he's turned 21 this year, so he's
Yeah.
still a young lad.
He'll be playing big time football in a few years. I think. I think he's good enough. He's a good
He
player.
definitely is good enough. Yeah.
He's a good player. He's a good attacking wing back.
Yeah.
That's what he's good at. Like
I don't think he'd be great in a 4 at the back.
Nah.
I think he'd be caught out.
No.
But with a 5 at the back, and you've got somebody like, well, I think Suter normally plays on the
Yeah.
left hand side of the back 3.
Yeah. Although he has been playing when Kingsley was injured, he was playing as the left centre back in a free, and he was
played them against Celtic,
fantastic.
didn't
He was
Celtic,
playing fantastic, and then Halliday was the left wing back, pairing up with him. I don't know. I think this is some of the best Hearts team
Yeah.
I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, I think
Like
what
a
we'll do is
long
we'll just
time.
we'll go through the stats today for the Hearts game. So Hearts 72% possession to Livingston's 28%, which
Dominant.
dominant.
Aye, yeah, it was. The first half, the first 10 minutes was a bit even because it was bad touches, just getting into the rhythm of the game. But that 35 minutes after that, we dominated the
Yeah.
ball. We dominated the ball.
It was good.
Second half, the start of the second half was a bit even.
Yeah,
and then we started to dominate
I
the
think
ball.
the Livingston manager must have got something
Yeah.
underneath them to come out and play like that. But I also think that we let them play like that. I said during the game, that it looks like we've taken our foot off the gas, and it did. It felt like we dropped just a little bit, and then Livingston started to get a little bit more possession in the game, but they didn't look like doing anything with it. Like they had the ball, and they had it a lot, but they didn't really do anything with it. They didn't look like scoring, anything like that, did they? Like I said, 1 shot on target. We'll go. So yeah, Hearts had 14 shots. Livingston had 3. We had 6 on target, and they had 1 on target. We obviously scored 3. Corners weren't. We didn't. I don't think there was only 5 corners in the full game. Hearts with 4 and Livingston with 1. But
We don't do anything with corners, though, do we?
no, we'll look at the Hibs game. Hibs game we had like 14
We
corners.
just don't do anything
No.
with it.
We don't have
don't. Like Halkett had the header that went skying over the bar. That
Yeah.
was the only thing that happened from a
I
corner.
think when you look at the Hearts squad, the whole Hearts squad as a team, we don't really have anyone that's renowned for banging it
No.
in their head. Maybe Nondulier, done it a few times in the Championship. But he didn't really. He came on today. He was strong, very strong.
He was
Looked
alright.
strong.
He's there just to
Yeah.
disrupt, isn't he? Like,
And this
he's,
is the most stats in Livingston's favour were fouls 22, and Hearts made 7. So you can see there, and to think that there was 22 fouls and only 3 bookings.
Yeah.
The referee didn't have a great game.
No, he really didn't. The only decision I think he got right was the penalty. I don't think he had a very good game at all.
No.
Remember Barry Mackay? That challenge on Barry Mackay where he shoved him into the boards.
Yeah.
Didn't even get a yellow card.
Yeah, he didn't book
Didn't
for
even
that.
get a yellow
No,
card.
he booked some other boy for a tackle about 10 minutes before it. But
That was a bad challenge.
yeah, even
Barry
with,
Mackay.
there was a moment in the game where Kingsley took a free kick, and it hit the wall, and then the referee gave a free kick for handball.
Yeah.
Booked the guy for handball, and then moved the free kick up to position. But you watch it back, and the guy he just jumped.
He just had it over his
Yeah,
face as well. It
we know
wasn't
what
very
it's
fair,
like these days with the handballs and things. But for me personally,
I don't think it's very fair to
no,
be honest.
it's not.
Luke.
Handball. He was covering his face.
Aye,
I mean,
it's gonna hit
admittedly,
his face
you could say
anyway.
that. You could say that. But Kingsley took it in the chops, and he was lying on the
Yeah.
deck.
Aye,
he
he
took it right
was.
to
He
the
was. He
face,
did take
and
it
he
right
was
to the
lying down
face.
for 5 minutes. But he got up and he laughed it off. So you could maybe say it was a booking.
Yeah.
And maybe the Livingston
Aye.
player was just a little bit of chicken.
Yeah, it's shinny anyway, like, probably. Yeah. Taylor Moore had a really good game.
Yeah, big Roger Moore.
Roger Moore. He had a really good game. Right back last week. Was it last week or the week before?
It was a Hibs game.
It was
wasn't
the Hibs game that he came on at right wing back.
Yeah.
And he wasn't the greatest. But that's not his position.
No.
Centre back's his position. He was dominant in the
I don't think he lost a header.
he didn't lose a header.
No.
He was
Admittedly-
dominant on the ball.
Admittedly, it was against Shinny, but in the first half, he made some runs into the
Yeah,
runs,
I know. He was doing Suter-esque runs
Yeah,
up until like the final third. He was absolutely fantastic today.
he's given Robbie Nielsen obviously a good headache to have.
Yeah. And do you know who was good today? Halkett.
Yeah.
Halkett was good today.
I'm normally Halkett's first critic because he's a good defender, but to play the style of football that Robbie wants is you need to be good on the ball, and sometimes Halkett could be a bit of a bomb scare.
That's very true.
He's made
very
some. I mean, against Ross County, he made some very questionable passes.
Yeah.
But no, he was very, very good today.
Yeah,
You could
he was.
see he stepped in for Suter not being there. Halkett took control at the back. He was in complete control of that back line. Admittedly, they didn't really have that much to do.
No.
But when called upon for a header, I don't think Halkett.
He was on the ball.
Halkett and Moore didn't lose. I don't think they lost the aerial duel all day. They were
they
absolutely
were
solid.
dominant. They were dominant at the back. I love this 3 at the back and 2 wing back formation. I love it. I think it suits Hearts' way of playing. It suits the players.
It suits Scottish football. Because obviously, Scottish football, you're not going to see an attacking 4. You're not going to see a Liverpool-esque gegen press 4-3-3.
Nah.
You're never
Nah.
going to see that because Stendhal tried that. And
Yeah.
we know how that went.
Yeah.
And it's just you don't get away with that. I mean, Rangers and Celtic could maybe get away with it because they've got the quality of player to do it. But Rangers and Celtic this season looking like weakened giants, which is really good for Hearts and Hibs, who are having really good seasons. Aberdeen, who really need to step up for the money they've got, need to step up.
They're
their
now
game,
the 3rd biggest budget in Scotland.
which is insane.
They've upped their budget from I think it's 8.5 million. They upped it to 12 million. Their playing budget.
Extra 3.5 million
Aye.
in the Scottish
And
League is
then
something else.
They're losing 7 games in a row
Yeah.
or something like that. 6
See,
games in a row.
I think they're suffering from lack of a experienced, solid manager.
I don't rate him.
No,
I don't think he's a good
yeah,
manager.
it's the same. It's the same with like you could talk about Malky Mackay
Aye.
managing in the league. Why is he
Yeah.
managing in the league?
Aye.
But yeah, I don't think that they have the manager to do it. I think if Aberdeen have a poor half a season up to Christmas and they're not in the top 6 or top 4, you would seriously be questioning getting rid of him.
Yeah, definitely. You
Because
should-
there's managers.
I think you should be getting rid of him already.
Surely there's
The money
managers.
that you're spending.
Surely there's managers out there that can replace him.
I don't ever think they should have sacked Derek McInnes.
Well, for me personally, if you're going to give Aberdeen an extra £3.5 million and then get rid of the guy who's been in charge of them for, 6 years?
A long time.
Aye, and he brings up performances. Aberdeen for the past 10 years have probably been the team that pushed the old firm. Or when the old firm were in the top league, Rangers and things like that.
The Rangers.
The Rangers. We're not going to do that on the podcast. We're not going to be the zombie. Oh, they're zombies. Right. We're not Celtic fans.
They are, though. Don't like that either.
No. But we'll try our best when we're talking about the old firm and their games to be as unbiased as possible and go through their players because they do have some quality players. You can't deny that. But they also have some absolute garbage.
Yeah.
Mr. Starfelt.
Starfelt. Absolute pish. I went to the first game, the Hearts at Celtic game, and he was rubbish. That was his first Scottish Premiership game. 2.5 million he cost them.
You think of that in the budget side of things. 2.5 million they paid for Starfelt, and we're paying 50k for Macami Devlin.
I know.
From Australia, who came in today
I
and
know.
just took control of an SPL game. And then you get Starfelt, who I don't even cannot describe him.
I know.
He's just
He's error
he's not even
prone.
good in Football Manager.
Nah, he's error prone.
He is very bit. But I think they've got Julian Brellier to come back. What's his name? Christopher Julian. No, Julian Brellier.
He played up.
Christopher Julian. That's my
Yeah.
mistake.
Christopher
I think
Julian.
he's still to come back. I
Yeah,
think
that
he's still
heel
injured.
goes injured for
Yeah.
a few weeks.
They've still got Near Beaton still on the books.
Beyond.
Um,
Christie went to Bournemouth, didn't they? They've
Christie went to Bournemouth for like 2.5 million.
no.
The boys rated it about £10 million.
He's
I don't know what Celtic were
like
doing
him,
there.
like, he's a quality
Yeah,
player.
and they've lost Edward, who's
Still got Turnbull.
Edward's having a really good season so
I
far.
know.
It's
First touch.
first touch for Crystal Palace.
Aye, aye. But Scotland's a farmers' league, though, isn't it?
Yeah. To be fair, like, think of the Scottish players that come out of it. All the good players that come out with Scotland tend to be foreign. Virgil van Dijk.
Aye. Made it Celtic.
Made it Celtic.
Made it Celtic.
Andy Robertson made it Queen of the South.
Made it Queen's Park.
Queen's Park, that's the one.
Queen's Park. Yeah. So, we're going to go into right or wrong.
Yeah, we're going to go through right or wrong next.
Right or wrong. Right or wrong, Sean? Explain it.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're on the BBC website for the football, and we're going to go through the Hearts team, back to front, goalkeeper to striker, or whoever we play, and see if their ratings match what we sort of seen from today's performance. So we'll start off with Craig Gordon.
So what does it say on the BBC
On
website?
the BBC website, he has been given a 7.02
Right.
for doing absolutely
He done
nothing.
So I would say, well, what do you get for a goalie that does nothing?
Well,
8,
clean
9?
sheet, so I'd give him
Anything that he done,
Clean sheet.
fantastic though. So
Clean
10.
sheet. Clean
10 out
sheet,
of 10.
so 10? 10 out of 10?
10 out of 10.
Nah.
Well, he done everything great. You know, he never made a mistake doing anything today.
No, his distribution was good as
Yeah,
well.
everything
so
was great. You know, he was fast distributing the ball sometimes.
I'd stick with a 7. I think.
Yeah, 7, 8. You know, he never done anything wrong.
No,
So why not?
I say 7.
Seven?
Go for a 7.
Yeah,
I think
7.
we're pretty much on par with what they said on the website.
Seven.
So then we'll go from
Right centre back.
right centre back, which was Moore.
Moore.
So for me, if
What
we
does
go
it
with
say on the
BBC on Moore, he was given a
Mm.
7.5.
He's better than that.
I would have given him an 8. 8
Aye. 8.5.
8.5.
8.
Because
He was fantastic.
I don't think he
today.
done anything wrong. He won every single aerial duel he had to. His marauding runs forward,
Yeah.
they weren't a waste either. I felt like when he made the runs, there was always something that sort of I was looking like it would come from it. But yeah, I'll give him 8.5.
Yeah, 8.5.
Yeah, definitely.
8.5. Halkett.
Halkett, what's he got on here? Halkett was given 7.4, so about the
Aye.
same as Moore.
I would say about a 7.5, 7.6.
I'd give him an 8. He done
Yeah, he done good. He wasn't as direct as Moore. I think Moore was better in the air today than Halkett. I think Halkett was better at distributing the ball from the back.
Yeah.
But I think Moore was better in the air. I think Moore had more to do. All
Moore
game.
did, I think Moore gave himself more to do as
Yeah,
well, though, which I
and
quite
he
like to
went
see.
forward a lot more,
Yeah.
and his forward passes were a lot better. I think he was better. So Halkett, 7.6, 7.7, I would say.
Yeah,
What do you think?
I'd give him an 8.
8. You
Yeah,
think
which
an
is
8?
rare. Which is coming from
Yeah,
me.
that's
who-
coming from you.
Who's never
so
been the biggest.
That must
Craig,
be good. Like.
never been the
Must be
biggest
good.
Craig Halkett fan, but he is this season so far turned around a little corner there for me. So, and the left
Stephen
hand side
Kingsley?
was Stephen Kingsley.
Yep.
So I think in the first half, we seen an issue on the left hand side, which was that the young boy Cochrane wasn't really wanting to take anybody on.
No.
So it felt like Kingsley sort of took that on upon himself to then go do that. And it
Yeah.
looks like whenever they had to go up that left-hand side, Kingsley was the one to try and take people on. He did swing in a few crosses towards the end of the first half. So they've given him a 7.5 on here, and I think that's spot on.
Yeah. I really like Kingsley.
Yeah.
I really like Kingsley going forward.
Mhm.
I think he's a better attacking left back than he is a defensive left back.
He definitely is. He was,
He's good at centre back. He's good at left
yeah,
centre back.
he was
but he's so much
exactly
better.
the same for Hull. He was
Yeah.
never good at the back for Hull, but he was always good at giving them that extra something going forward. So I think 7.5. To be fair, taking that free kick right to the face,
Yeah.
I give him a 10.
Yeah, aye.
Because that was a
Aye, taking it right to the face, that's a 10.
he
like.
went down.
Yeah.
But yeah, 7.5. I'd give him a 7.5. I think he played really well today.
7.5.
Yeah.
So,
Left hand side, young boy Cochrane.
Cochrane,
He got 7.7.
7.7. I think he was better than that. I think he contributed to
Oh, he did.
2 goals,
He assisted and scored.
assisted and scored.
And from Livingston's very limited attack, they were getting nothing down
No,
that
no.
side. So
No.
no,
Him and
I,
Kingsley as a pairing worked fantastic
yeah,
together.
I think
He
Cochrane
was
will,
fantastic. I think that's the best game I've seen him in
yeah,
so far.
I think Cochrane will learn a lot of Kingsley.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really
Yeah.
good to have them there because
It's
Kingsley's got that experience. Kingsley is a little bit injury prone as well, so when he is out of games, I think Cochrane is going to be able to slot in perfectly fine to cover anything Kingsley's there for. I think he just needs to work on his defending and taking people on. He sometimes seems a little bit scared to take people on.
Yeah.
But if he can make that part of his game, when you see it with players in the Premier League, players like Aaron Wan-Bissaka, really good at the back, but nothing really in the final
Yeah.
third.
Mhm.
I think if Cochrane can master that, even just cross a few balls in, find a few passes, but I mean today I'm saying that, but he set up a goal and he scored a
And
goal.
he scored a goal.
So maybe this
He
is
took
the
his
turn-
goal really well.
this
as
did,
well.
maybe this is the turning point for him when
Yeah.
it comes to that. I mean, if you think about it, it was Barry Mackay to Cochrane to Smith, and then it was Barry Mackay to Cochrane for the goal.
Yeah.
So I think between the two wide men, it's something you see at Liverpool is Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold will always do that. They cross the ball to each other. And I think if Barry Mackay on that far right can get that sort of partnership with Cochrane, you'll see a lot more of that.
So what is it on the BBC?
Cochrane got 7.7.
Aye, he's better than that.
I'd give him an 8.5.
8.3 in my opinion.
Yeah,
he was fantastic. I don't think he done much wrong, to be honest. Like.
No, just in the first 10-15 minutes, but it wasn't just him that was guilty. It was
everybody.
He just didn't want to run at his man. But he was, to be fair, 21 years old and he's up against Nicky Devlin, who's a good right back.
Experienced as well.
Yeah, so he didn't give him much, but Kingsley, Kingsley took it by the scruff of the neck. He left Nicky Devlin standing a couple of times.
Yeah, Kingsley's runs are fantastic.
And to be fair, saying that Nicky Devlin should have been there to stop Cochrane getting out of the back post, but he didn't. So no, Cochrane.
I took his goal well. Really good game.
Assist was excellent.
Yep.
I'm going 8.3.
Yeah.
Agree. Move to midfield.
Smith, right wing back.
Oh, Smith. Just for being Smith, 10.
Smith had one of the best games.
He got a 7.6 on the BBC app.
He's close to man of the match for me.
He didn't stop. He didn't stop.
Up there.
He did, and the way he was slotting in, I think because we were getting so far forward, Benny and Devlin were getting quite forward and towards the final third. So Smith knew that he could sit in just in front of the remaining back four and just cover that role.
Yeah.
And he done it so well.
Yeah.
And his goal, what's he doing on the penalty spot?
I know.
And the fact he nearly blasted one top corner if it wasn't for a brilliant save by their goalkeeper, I'd give him a 9. I think he was really good today. Very experienced player, and the fact he really needed the rest, you could tell, because last against the Hibs, I think even after the game, Robbie Nielsen came in and said he wasn't fully fit.
No, he wasn't. He pulled an injury in the internationals, didn't he?
Yeah, he got a knock again for Northern Ireland, and then he played against Hibs, and he just didn't look like he should have been playing.
Yeah.
But today, I mean, he's 33 now, so it makes sense to rest him every so often. And the fact that last season in the Championship he played about every game.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I think Smith, going forward, intermittent player, give him the game time, give him the rest time. He can easily be the best player on the pitch every game.
Yeah, he's Mr. Dependable. You know what you're getting.
Mr. Consistency.
Aye. you know what you're getting. Every single week, you know what you're getting. Yeah, fantastic player.
I give him a 9 today.
Yeah, 9. I agree. Right, midfield. The only player that can rival Smith for the man of the match today.
We're going to start with Devlin, and I'm going to give him a 10.
10?
10. He done absolutely
he did.
nothing wrong. And then for a boy to come in at Tynecastle with an experienced team around him, and for him to be shouting orders, I think he's only 21.
Aye, he was vocal.
Yeah, he was. I mean, there was a point in the game where Halkett had the ball, and Halkett was going to do a Halkett thing and just turn and pass to the left or pass to the right. But Devlin screamed at him to make a forward pass, and Halkett took the ball, turned, gave it to Devlin. Devlin took the ball, turned, gave it to Mackay, and it was a build of something. So I think he's just that pivot in midfield that we've been missing for 3-4 seasons.
He's the piece that
he is.
We've been missing.
Yeah, fucking Australian.
He was fantastic.
Australian piece.
Yeah. He into tackles, winning headers against people that are nearly double his size.
Who was it he went in with? It was one of the centre backs
for Livingston.
They both went up for the ball, both absolutely hammered into each other. The Livingston boys stayed down. Devlin was up and it looked like he had a smile on his face. He was just absolutely loving his football, and he was laughing with players. He was having some laughs with Roger Moore. I just love him. If he can give, I mean, we're saying that of one performance, right? But if he can give that every single week, he can easily be
a fan favourite.
Yeah, a fan favourite, because
you can see the delight at the end of the game, though.
Yeah, he stayed
see the delight.
Yeah, he stayed in the centre circle ahead of most of the players leaving, and took a round of applause, and he gave it back. And I just think that if he can give that in and out, even in games where you're losing 1-0, 2-0, you're playing against Rangers or Celtic, where they're always tougher games, if he's there with that energy, he will bring players around him to do the same thing.
He'll push them forward.
Exactly.
He pushes it forward.
He could be your Bruno Fernandes. He could be your Virgil van Dijk. You know, that sort of player that drags a team forward. And I think I might be jumping the gun, but I love him.
Already.
I love him.
Alright, but you did love Halkett.
No, Halkett. Well, we can see. If Halkett signs a new contract, it won't be a problem.
Aye,
He's a player.
good.
He's a good player.
Aye.
But he's the sort of player that also, when you're drawing 0-0, could make that mistake to lose 1-0.
Very true. Very true. Hopefully, Cammy Devlin plays next week. Gets a good 90 minutes again. So, yeah. Aye, so 10.
10.
Man of the match.
Man
we
of-
definitely think man of the match, especially on his debut. Benny,
Big Benny.
you know, if I was thinking about it on the drive down, that if that was Benny's first game, you'd still think that was a fantastic performance.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we're getting used to the fantastic performances every week now.
I think we are.
You know, because he played fantastic today, and he didn't have much to do, but everything that he did do, he done well.
So
He got the ball a couple of times.
I think in the game today, it didn't show Benny's his best attributes because, like you said before, he takes the ball and he recycles, but Livingston hardly had the ball. He didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
But going forward, I mean, he won the penalty.
He's making forward passes.
He was making forward.
There was a couple of ones where he was running through the middle, getting the pass through to him.
It's when you're looking at him as well. It's like I think there's 5 games into the season, and maybe only 1 or 2 occasions I've seen somebody that's actually taken the ball off him. He's just one of those players that the ball glues to his feet, and it's good to see that. Like, obviously he's came from Everton youth, so he's got talent.
Yeah.
Having an Everton boy and a Liverpool boy in the same team though. But no, it looks like he's really enjoying his football as well. And what did he say at the start of the season? I'll make you money.
Yeah. So he had that interview with Joe Savage saying that I'll make this club money, and I think he will.
Yeah.
I think he'll A, be gone in January, or B, be gone next summer. I don't think he'll stay for longer than this season.
No.
Some club in the Championship down south will be after him.
He's too good.
He's good enough.
Yeah.
If he has consistent performances like that for every single game of this season, he's away.
Yeah.
We can't keep a player like that at Hearts.
No, you
and
can't.
It's good that he signed a 4-year contract as well, or 3-year contract, I think it was.
Yeah, so
it adds value.
Yeah,
to
you're
the
gonna.
player.
I mean, he will leave, and like you say, he'll make if he's consistent, if he sticks to it, he'll leave for money.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, that's what we need is the money to then maybe look at try and purchase a player very similar to him next time. But yeah, I can see Benny being a 1 in a million sort of player. You can tell he's probably spoke to the manager and spoke to the staff and been like, I'm going to come here, but I'm going to use you as a little bit of a stepping stone. Yeah. But for him to come out and perform like he does, he just loves. You can tell he just loves getting in there.
Yeah,
I love a player that goes into the park and just looks like who can make a tackle, but not like a Scott Brown who's just there to bully and things like that. Benny he's a quiet. He looks like he's a really quiet guy. But then when he gets on the N'Golo Kante style, comes into the park, does his job, goes into the changing room, everybody just loves him.
Yeah. I'm perfectly fine with that though, the whole stepping stone thing.
Yeah.
I'm perfectly fine with Hearts being a stepping stone to younger players who want to make a better career.
Definitely.
For
I mean, you're never
Hearts isn't an end of career.
No, unless you've already played for the club and you're going to come back. Like you're looking at your Jamie Walkers and your Craig Gordons. I mean, Jamie Walker might move on again at some point in his career, but he's an amazing servant for the club. So, but yeah, you're never going to get a Cristiano Ronaldo to come and stay. You know what I mean? He's going to come. He's going to show how good he is, and then he's gone.
Yeah.
But he'll give the club everything while he's here. And I think that's one thing the fans bring out of players.
Yeah.
I think players love playing for us because
the fans are so close.
The fans.
They're got such a integral part to Hearts. You know, the Hearts wouldn't be a club without the fans.
Yeah.
And the club knows that, so there's such a bond there. No other club in the country, I think, has that bond with its fans.
No.
I think we're a 1 in a million club that, you know, cares about what the fans actually think and needs the fans. You know, it needs the money the Foundation of Hearts pumps in every month. What the supporters pump in every month. You know, it's integral to the club's survival, and it shows on the pitch as well. It shows that we can afford to pay. You know, Benny will be on a bit of money. He'll be one of the highest paid players in the club.
Yeah.
You know, we wouldn't be able to afford these players if we didn't pump in money every month, and the supporters didn't pump in money every month.
No, it's good. It's good.
It's good.
It's really nice.
It's good. So what did BBC give?
BBC gave Benny 7.5. I'd say
he's
that's spot on.
He's good. 7.5 to 8. You know, he was absolutely quality.
I reckon you'll only get 8, 9, 10 performances out of Benny when you need him to do what he does.
Yeah, when it's against teams that attack more.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
against Hibs he was quality. Against Celtic he was absolutely fantastic.
He was an absolute animal.
Yeah,
in the
animal.
Celtic game.
So who's next?
We're into the front three. So we'll start with Woodburn.
Woodburn.
So this is the part that confused me. So I'm looking at the BBC stats, and Woodburn got a 7.83 man of the match. I don't agree with that at all. Woodburn, he had moments, but we were saying it before. He's played for Liverpool. He's played in European nights, and you'd think that is the sort of player that you're going to go in every time he gets the ball in the Scottish League, which is obviously a massive step down for the Premier League and European nights. Is going to take the ball and he's going to produce something special. But today he just looked average.
Average.
He was just there.
He did contribute a little bit.
There was a lot of running from him.
A few passes that were decent.
A really good play outside the box with Devlin and Benny, and a few passes with Barry Mackay, but nothing that would make me go, he was man of the match today.
There's not that final quality that you get with players like Mackay and sometimes Gary Mackay-Steven. Gary Mackay-Steven is another player that sometimes will do absolutely fantastic and then 80% of the time do absolutely rubbish.
Yeah.
Not score open goals, not finish properly. Woodburn, I expect Woodburn to be better than Mackay, and I expect Woodburn to be better than Gary Mackay-Steven.
Yeah.
But he's not showing it.
No, he's not.
He's not showing Liverpool quality. He's not showing the quality that puts him in the Wales team and makes him start for Liverpool.
Well, if you look at the Liverpool team, I think today they played Curtis Jones and they had the Harvey Elliott, who unfortunately got a horrendous injury. But I mean, you look at Curtis Jones, who's in the team. He played in the Liverpool team today. I think he scored.
Yeah.
And he's only 18, 19 years old, and he's in the Liverpool team. And he's coming from the same place as Ben Woodburn. Yeah. And you're thinking, why is Curtis Jones in the Liverpool starting 11 when Ben Woodburn's out on loan at Hearts?
Yeah.
And you think, have Liverpool maybe took a look at him and thought he's not at the quality that we're looking for? I just don't see Ben Woodburn being the name that replaces Sané or replaces Salah.
No, I don't think he's.
Or replaces Jota.
I don't think he's good enough to play for Liverpool.
No, I don't think he
ever will be.
No, I think
could change, but
there's two things that's going to happen at the end of the season. Is we might sign him if we can. I'm assuming he'll probably want a lot of money, but he looks like the sort of player that might sign for a championship side and be comfortable there.
Yeah.
And Johnny Russell, for example, is the sort of player that springs to mind. But yeah, I don't see him being that quality to get into that Liverpool. No. To be fair, Liverpool team is fantastic. But you're talking about the youngsters that are the next step in the Liverpool calendar when you've got your Salahs and your Sané's going, your Jotas, and I don't think he's that quality. No. You got a 7.8 man of the match performance.
I think this is the only one where we're going to be below what the BBC rating.
Yeah, I'd give him a 6.
I'd give him a bit better than that. I would probably say about a 7.
This is the sort of game though where I'd be fully expecting a player like Ben Woodburn to come out, take it by the scruff of the neck, score a goal, set up a goal. But then you've got Michael Smith, who's 33 years old, completely outplaying him on the park.
Maybe he just needs a bit more experience. You know, how many matches has he actually had at first team level?
Yeah, that's a good point.
But he's so inconsistent. Against Hibs, he was fantastic. Should have scored a goal. Playing in Gary Mackay-Steven, that pass in behind through the defence is fantastic. That's a Premier League pass. But there's just something missing in his game. He shows glimpses of brilliance. I would just like to see it all the time rather than 10% of the match.
Yeah, he's quite frustrating.
Yeah.
I have all faith he'll do it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a young lad, and Robbie Neilson.
I think he is getting better with matches. I think he's getting more attuned to the Scottish game.
I feel like Robbie Neilson's probably the right man to take him there as well. Robbie Neilson's brought through and played some good young players. And he seems like he knows how to coach a player to play the role that he wants. I mean, taking Gary Mackay-Steven, for example, when we first signed him, he looked like he was past his prime. But then towards the end of the last season and the start of this season, maybe not in the last couple of games, but he really changed and he was like, I understand what Robbie wants from me. So maybe Ben Woodburn needs to have that conversation with Nielsen and say, what do you want from me?
Yeah.
Because sometimes I was seeing Ben Woodburn quite far back
Yeah.
outside our box, and I'm
yeah.
just like, I want you up there. I want you outside their final third. I want you making trouble for them. I don't want you making passes in deep midfield.
Yeah.
But I think we've got a lot to see from him.
Yeah,
I wouldn't give him a 7.8. I'd maybe give him a 6.5 or 7.
7. I think a 7. It was alright.
Out of all the players today, I think he was probably
I think he was the most disappointing Hearts player today.
No. I know he scored a goal, but
here we go.
Here we go. Liam Boyce.
Oh, right, okay.
Yes, right. We've sat and talked about Woodburn and what he done in that whole game.
Liam Boyce scored his 9th goal of the season.
9th goal of the season. He's
right.
got. Credit where credit's due, but it was a penalty. Other than the penalty, think about it. If there was no penalty in the game, what would have Boyce done? Because he didn't do anything.
No, he didn't do anything.
But
Boyce doesn't do
anything. He scored.
Yeah.
So
but like all season, you watch the St Mirren game where he done nothing most of the game, and then a glimpse of brilliance where he scored a goal.
Yeah.
Penalties and the goal against Ross County last week.
Goal against Ross County last week was lucky.
Good. I think it was good.
It was a bit of luck.
It was a bit of luck. But you need that as a striker.
Yeah, I mean,
Liam Boyce is a striker that scores goals. And when was the last time we actually had a striker like that?
Yeah.
Kyle Lafferty?
Stephen
Naismith when he first came?
Even Naismith when he's had legs that work. But no, credit to where credit's due. Boyce is our top goal scorer, and never take that away from him. But
what was he on BBC?
Actually, where is he? 7.6?
No, he wasn't.
They said according to BBC, he played better than Smith, Benny, Moore, Kingsley, Halkett.
Nah, he didn't play better than them.
They've purely given him that rating because he scored a goal.
He didn't cause much ruckus. The only time I can remember him actually doing an outside the penalty was after Barry Mackay went through and mistimed it, and the goalie got it, and then Boyce tried to get the goal but hit it into the goalie's hands. That's the only time.
Yeah, he caused. See, what I think is Boyce was playing up against Oberlei.
Yeah.
Oberlei is a big fella, and he a few times. Boyce is known for backing into players, and taking the ball at his feet and finding a pass, and he's a sort of target man, and he'll run off people, and he'll score you tap-ins, he'll score you penalties. But that Oberlei was just not letting him do it.
Yeah.
The difference between today, between Boyce and when they brought on Nondoulier was just going at him. Like, there was a few times where, Nondoulier won the ball and played the pass to Barry Mackay, which then led to Cochrane's goal. And Nondoulier is big enough to sort of back into Oberlei and not worry about him too much. And he's taller to win headers. And I just, like, against Hibs, we've seen it a lot, was Gordon punting it up the park towards Boyce. And you're just like, Boyce isn't going to beat Hanlon to a header. He's not going to beat Porteous to Porteous is a dirty boy. He's not going to beat them to headers because Porteous will just stick an elbow in him and run on.
Yeah.
But I think Nondoulier would have been a better choice today against a big player like that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, Boyce is also a massive pivot. He's a huge, brilliant player to have up front.
But he's a game changer as well.
He's a game changer.
You just need that. He has moments of brilliance where he does score these goals. And he scores penalties.
Yeah.
And he does score penalties, and you want him on the penalties. There's no other player in that Hearts team I would want on the penalty rather than Boyce. I would only want Boyce in that penalty.
Yeah, I can't think of anyone that oozes confidence to score goals.
No, he's good.
Boyce knows he's going to score.
Yeah.
That's what I like about him.
I think Boyce is one of the only players that actually is not suited to that formation. I think Boyce needs another striker.
Boyce is definitely a two-man striker.
Yeah.
He is.
I think he needs another striker to, like Nondoulier, to get the ball and to pass it on to him and to make these passes.
Yeah.
Boyce is quite fast. He's a nippy striker. He's a poacher. He gets in there. He's not a target man. He's not somebody that'll win you headers up there. He'll try. He'll try his hardest.
He does.
But
I'll give it to him. Every time a ball goes up, he doesn't just stand there. He goes for it. He knows he's not going to win them, but that's just causing a little bit of hassle at the back anyway. Yeah. So.
But he's good. He's good.
So
I think he had an alright game. He didn't do much, but he scored a penalty. He's good. It's a good game.
Yeah, they gave him a 7.6.
I would say
7.2. 7.2.
Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't have a phenomenal game, but at the end of the day, he got us a goal.
Final player.
Barry Mackay.
He was brilliant today. What did they give him?
7.7. He was frustrated in the first 10 15 minutes.
He was.
You could see he'd been out of practice of football for a while. His touches were heavy. He didn't look like he wanted the ball. But Barry Mackay is the perfect example of a confidence player. He needs to get the ball at his feet, make a few passes, complete the passes, maybe make a dribble, get past the boy, and then from there on, he can take stuff in it.
As soon as he took on that first man on the right hand side,
when
he was a different player after that.
As soon as he touched it past the left back,
I can't remember his name.
Penrice, whatever his name was. And he took it past him and he ran forward and he got across it in the box. Nothing came of it. But from there on, it looked like he wanted the ball. Seen him all over the front three. He was all over the front three. He was constantly trying to get in behind. He was trying to make passes. He worked really well with Smith on that side as well when he was over on that side. But yeah, I think he was really good today.
Yeah, he was.
I think he got Erskine man of the match.
Yeah, that Erskine charity.
So I would probably give. I give Devlin a 10 because he was absolutely brilliant. But I'd probably give Barry Mackay a 9.
Yeah, Barry Mackay was fantastic today.
Was brilliant today.
For a man that's played how much did he play last?
He played full game against Ross County.
Right,
full game today.
And he played like 70 minutes today.
70 minutes today, and I think he played 15 minutes in the game.
Yeah, so for a man that's played basically 2, maybe 3 games since May, he was fantastic today. Yeah. He didn't do anything wrong except from the first 15 minutes, but the whole squad in the first 15 minutes wasn't that good.
Gorgie Grealish, 9 out of 10.
Gorgie Grealish, he was fantastic. So that was right or wrong. Right or wrong. Hope you enjoyed that right or wrong first edition. Right, so we'll run through the Scottish results for today and then give a wee quick take on them all. We've watched the highlights on all 3 of them. Well, there's 2 matches.
Yeah, we read up some of the reports as well. Stats
so
and things like that.
Just go through that. So Dundee Rangers won 1-0.
Dundee played some decent football.
Dundee were all right. Jason Cummins should have scored the penalty.
Lee Griffiths didn't kick any flares at people's faces.
He was absolute rubbish today, apparently. So
he went off injured. Say that with hyphen.
It should have been a yellow card for McLaughlin, not a red card, in my opinion.
No, there was a covering defender. So
there was a covering defender, but he didn't take out the player on purpose. He went for the ball. He went for the ball.
He just slid in with his leg up. He just left it hanging. He shouldn't have done that.
So that takes Rangers top. Yeah.
Rangers are currently top.
Currently top with 16 points.
16 points.
So Hearts are second with 15 points. It's not bad at all. And then the other game was Motherwell Ross County, where Motherwell won 2-1.
I've only seen the highlights for this game.
Yeah.
But both teams shocking at the back.
Yeah. Ross County are shocking anyway. There's a reason why they're joint bottom. And it's not because they're good.
I don't. Motherwell are currently sitting 3rd in the league, but after watching them today and watching them at the back and the Ross County goal, I don't understand how they're 3rd.
No, I watched the highlights last week for the Rangers game, and they were shocking. I don't know how they got a draw out that game. They were rubbish. I think next week we're going to hammer them. I don't think they're that good.
No, I think defensively we're better. And going forward, Motherwell good going forward. Tony Watt, as much as he was no great at Hearts, he's found a home at Motherwell.
But I think Suter, Moore, if he's playing Halkett and Kingsley, they're not going to take care of him.
Yeah, they're not going to. Yeah, and is it Valveen? Valveen that plays for them?
The Dutch guy.
Yeah, he looks good. He looks like a good player. But I've not really seen anything that makes me go, he's absolutely fantastic. Get him signed. I really like the Ross County boy Charles Cook. I think he's on loan from Arsenal.
Yeah, he's really good.
He's a really good player.
Yeah, he was
really good. He looks really good. But both teams today, I think the scoreline did them a little bit justice because after watching some of the highlights, it looks like it could have been 5-5.
Yeah.
Their defences are just really bad.
Nah, they're just not that great.
Man of the match was Tony Watt. He did play really well. I mean, he set up the goal. Was involved in the first goal.
Yeah.
And then he scored the second goal, a really good finish. But yeah, I mean, if you look at the stats, it was 12 shots for Motherwell, 18 shots for Ross County, 5 on target for Motherwell, 6 on target for Ross County. So right there, you could easily see the game was very even. I mean, the possession was about 50-50, the shots were about even, even the fouls were about even. But it could have been 2-2, could have been 3-3. I know. Just looking at it, I'm just like, that is a very even
How did
game.
Ross County get? If Ross County got 18 shots off against Motherwell, we should be battering them.
Yeah, we should be beating them.
We should be battering them.
We should be beating them next week.
We should be battering them.
But they're obviously third for a reason.
They've played rubbish teams though.
Have they not played any of the big?
They've only played Hibs and Rangers. Hibs and Rangers. They got a loss against Hibs and they drew against Rangers.
But
they drew against Rangers, luckily.
But you could look at Rangers and Celtic this season, and you could say that draws against them is their kind of. I mean, even when we beat them,
yeah,
we didn't look like we were going to beat them. But that's the downfall of the Old Firm this season, is they don't look like they're just going to come out and hammer you. They look like if you play your cards right, you can nick a 1-0, no matter who you are. I could see they're going to struggle this season, I think, Celtic, who have obviously proved that already. And Rangers don't look like champions from last season. They don't look like the same team. That team might have beaten.
Yeah.
And look at them now.
Yeah.
They've already lost a game this season.
They look rubbish.
So, I mean, they won today, Rangers. They beat Dundee, so beating Dundee's not a big achievement.
It's not a big achievement when they're sitting bottom as well.
Yeah, I actually can't wait to play Dundee. We'll have to beat them again.
Especially up against Lee Griffiths. He's going to get it.
And Cummins. Cum dog.
Oh no.
Not a fan. No. So yeah, that was the results for the Scottish League. So we'll just quickly have a look at the table. Rangers, Hearts, Motherwell, Hibs, Dundee United, Celtic. That's the top 6. Rangers 16 points, Hearts 15 points, Motherwell 14 points, Hibs 12 points, Dundee United 10 points, Celtic 9 points. Celtic with an insane goal difference of 12, but that's because they got beat off Livingston, which I don't get.
Hammered Dundee 6-0.
And they beat Dundee 6-0.
Hammered St Mirren 6-0.
And they beat St Mirren 6-0. But then they go and get beat off a team today who didn't do anything to look like it could beat Celtic.
Yeah. Livingston didn't look like a team that beat Celtic.
Mm-hmm. But it looks like this season that between Hearts, maybe Motherwell, if they can maybe improve on some of their defending, Hibs, Dundee United, those 4 teams in between the Old Firm at the moment, it would be amazing to see one of them do a Leicester. And because Rangers and Celtic are playing so bad, somebody else wins the league. That would be nice. I don't care who it is unless it's Hibs. But if Motherwell or Dundee United went on to win the league and split up the Old Firm for I think it's like 20 years or something.
Long 30 years, probably.
A long time. It would be amazing to see. As much as I know we're only 7 games in, and I would absolutely love to see Hearts go. But Hearts this season, I'll take Europe.
But the problem is that when Celtic and Rangers are playing rubbish, Hearts and Hibs need to be capitalising on beating teams like Ross County and Livingston and St Mirren. Hibs drew with St Mirren last weekend. Hearts drew with Ross County last weekend. We need to be winning these matches. If we beat Ross County last weekend, we'd be sitting top with 2 points.
Yeah.
And if we beat Aberdeen when we should have beat Aberdeen, we'd be another 3 points in front.
I think Aberdeen so far this season. I think Dundee, Ross County, Livingston, St Mirren, St Johnstone hovering in the bottom 6 is standard.
Yeah.
But seeing Aberdeen sitting there in 7th, I think, is the biggest shock of the season. With the money they've got, the players they've brought in. I mean, they've brought in
Pat Ramirez from the MLS scored loads last season.
They've brought in a lone player from Newcastle who's played Premier League football.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as I hate him, Scott Brown's a good signing to solidify your midfield. Just to give you that anchor. That's all he does.
I don't rate him anymore though.
No, he's 36 now, isn't he? But I think that Aberdeen have always lacked, I think since Russell Anderson and maybe Scott McKenna leaving, a really, really good centre-back.
Yeah. They've still got Considine, but he's old.
And they put him left back. They put him left back as well. And
Gallagher. I mean,
Declan Gallagher,
he was awful against Hearts.
It was terrible.
He was awful.
He was there to be beaten. But we don't talk about too much about the Aberdeen game.
No,
it just felt like
everything
felt wrong.
Didn't gel.
That
team didn't gel then.
No, the whole team felt wrong.
I think if we played Aberdeen this weekend, we would beat them.
Yeah, we beat them. Yeah.
But Hearts' next test, I think, will be. Well, let's get on to the next fixtures.
Yeah, so the fixtures for tomorrow first. We've got September. We've got St Mirren. No, we do. Is that right? Am I mental? That's right. Yeah,
That's right.
We've got St Mirren versus Aberdeen at St Mirren. So good team at home. Aberdeen really poor.
Aberdeen have lost 6 in a row.
Yeah.
So I would say St Mirren are going to win that.
I think they're going to nick a 1-0.
Aye.
The only thing, I think they'll nick a 1-0, but if Aberdeen win that game, that could be their buffer to kick on to play better this season. They need that win,
Yeah.
but like you said before, their manager's not good enough.
No, he's not good enough.
He's not good
Stephen
enough.
Glass isn't good enough.
We've got St Mirren versus Aberdeen is a 12 o'clock kickoff. Celtic versus Dundee United is a 3 o'clock kickoff, along with Hibs versus St Johnstone. Celtic are at home against Dundee United. Should
Hammering. It should be a
realistically
hammering.
win the game, but they did just lose to Livy.
Yeah. And they're not performing well.
And they're
in
not
Europe,
performing.
they're
And
not
if they play
performing well at all.
Starfelt, guaranteed goal for Dundee
Yeah.
United. And then we've got Hibernian versus St Johnstone.
I
Now,
would love to see us in Johnston win, but I don't think I'm going to.
no, I think if it was the other way around and it was St Johnstone at home, Hibs might struggle. But
I don't think they will. Hibs are a good side.
as
As much as it pains me to say it, Boyle is decent against other teams. He's decent against teams that can't defend against them,
yeah,
that can't control him. When he was playing against Hearts, he was nullified. He had 2 chances.
Yeah.
1 chance?
two.
Two
Gordon pulled off
chances.
a really good save.
Really good save. But that was it. It was like moments
Mhm.
where he got away from Benny and he got away from, I think it was Suter. Another chance. You know, they've got a good team, but a lot of they didn't strengthen well in the transfer window. The players that they brought in weren't good enough. Doidge is injured until December.
Mhm.
They didn't bring another striker. Nisbet's not performing, not scored in a long time. And they just didn't bring in that. James Scott isn't good enough.
Paul McGinn, just not that good.
Nah, he's no.
I think the only thing that's holding Hibs together this season is that they might not have any outstanding players, but they have a good squad.
Yes.
So they'll be able to perform week
Yeah.
in, week out, maybe still 1-0 and things like that. But it's good to see Hearts and Hibs playing really well.
Yeah, really good. It's good for Scottish
good
football.
for Scottish
It's brilliant
football.
for Scottish football.
And it would be nice to see Aberdeen get there as well, because it'd be nice to have like 5 teams, and then maybe if Motherwell can start performing, it doesn't make it look like, I don't know, I really can't understand how Motherwell are third. They just look so poor.
I think we'll see what they're like next week,
When they play us, we're going to
Aye.
go at them. We'll
Yeah.
obviously attack them,
especially at home as well.
Yeah.
We're gonna.
and you'll be able to see how well we play, because
Yeah.
Tony Watt, and they've got a good front three. We'll give them that.
I think our back 5 can handle them.
Yeah, I do.
I think this
It's
formation
not
is
just the back
fantastic.
five with Benny,
Yeah,
and I think for me next week, other than Suter, I just play the same team.
yeah, I would bring Suter in for Moore.
Yeah, as well as Moore played. But
Suter's better than Moore,
but Moore's better than Halkett.
but Halkett's been performing
But Halkett's been
fantastic.
performing, exactly.
So you can't drop him.
And
from the
Halkett
team.
and Suter have played together for a long
And
time.
Halkett wants a new contract.
Give him a new contract.
Well, only give him the new contract when he stops performing great.
Yeah,
and
you're not playing very well, so here's 500 quid.
And then reward him.
Yeah,
for
and then
it.
he'll hopefully start
And then
playing
he'll
better.
play better.
Yeah.
Next week's games then, yeah?
Yeah.
So, Saturday the 2nd October.
Dundee United versus Ross County. Prediction for that?
Dundee United should be winning that. Ross County aren't good enough. Like.
No, Dundee United should be.
I think Ross County are going to get relegated this
Yeah, I think you can see that there. Game after that, well, same time. Hearts versus Motherwell at Tynecastle.
2-1 Hearts. I think we'll win that game.
How confident I am after today, though. I'm 2-0.
2-0.
I think we're good
Clean
enough.
sheet.
Yeah, I think we're. Craig Gordon's going to go.
Yeah.
Clean sheet. Next game's Livingston versus St Mirren, which for me could probably potentially be one of the worst games of the season.
St Mirren should hammer them. I know Livingston are at home, but Livingston are woeful. I know they'll have a week rest, but I'm not sure.
I think if Livingston rest right and try and find some performance like that against Celtic, they could win that game. But that could be a draw.
Yeah.
That could be a draw.
St Johnstone Dundee.
St Johnstone.
Yeah, Dundee aren't good enough.
No. I feel like if Dundee are going to spur on their season and do something with it, they need to win.
Yeah.
But beating St John, I mean, even for Rangers and Celtic, Hearts and Hibs, beating St Johnstone at St Johnstone is not an easy task.
It's a tough game.
Yeah, it's not an easy task.
So on the Sunday,
we've got Aberdeen, two big games actually. 12 o'clock kickoff, Aberdeen versus Celtic, and 3 o'clock kickoff, Rangers versus Hibs.
Celtic will beat Aberdeen.
Aberdeen, when they come up against the Old Firm, just seem to have something different. And I feel like Scott Brown will have a way to get them up for that game.
I don't think they're good enough to beat Celtic. I don't think they're good enough to draw against Celtic.
No, they have been so poor. So poor.
Unless they can change it in a week. If they can beat... who are they playing tomorrow? St Mirren. Tomorrow.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, St Mirren tomorrow. Yeah, so if they can beat St Mirren tomorrow, you never know. But I don't think they'll beat St Mirren tomorrow. I think they'll lose heavily to Celtic. And then I think Hibs will lose their first game of the season. I think that'll be their first loss against Rangers.
Rangers haven't been phenomenal this season, but Rangers at Ibrox as well.
Look at the players you've got.
Yeah.
Ruth, Kent.
Still saying it, yeah. That's still...
You know.
See, there's another
fantastic
one.
Davies.
Ryan Kent, Ben Woodburn reminds me a little bit of Ryan Kent coming from Liverpool.
Yeah.
I mean, Liverpool knew he wasn't good enough. I mean, they must have seen Rangers coming because I think he cost them $7.5 million.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could see Rangers definitely going to win that game. I think I could see Rangers easily winning that game quite comfortably, especially if you're playing Paul McGinn. Just don't rate that boy. But yeah, so Rangers and Celtic are probably going to win.
Yeah, definitely.
So we need to win.
Yeah, we need to win.
Yeah.
We need to win.
It's you know, we're the only team out of the top 6. Well, all the top 6 are playing each other next week.
Yeah.
No, the top 6 teams are playing each other next week. That could be the start of the sort of split between the league there. Because if we win, Motherwell are sitting third, they'll drop. Rangers and Celtic will win, they'll push up the table. And then that's when you'll start to see your Motherwell, Aberdeen and things like that dropping into their 4th, 5th, 6th.
Yeah. This is a chance to get another 3 points on the table, get away from Hibs, get away from Motherwell.
Confidence as well.
I hope Aberdeen take points for Celtic.
Oh, well, I hope both of them do. I would love to see Hibs Rangers draw.
Yeah, and Celtic Aberdeen draw, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Or Aberdeen even beating Celtic.
Aberdeen stealing a win would be a massive favour for us, yeah.
But yeah, that's what I think will happen next week.
Yeah, cool.
So, time for question of the week, Sean.
Question of the week.
You ready?
He's been telling me about
each
this
week
all day, and he's not even asked me the question.
So each week I will I'll ask a question each week. So everybody's got a week to come back with an answer. You can either answer on Twitter, Facebook group, whatever.
We also have an email address if anyone wants to get in touch. It's just upthepark@gmail.co.uk.
We'll put all the links in the description of the podcast. And then Sean will have to answer next week as well. So he gets a week to do research and cheat on Google. That's what you'll be doing. You have to promise not to cheat.
Okay, I promise.
No, that doesn't sound like a promise.
Okay, I promise I won't.
You pinky promise.
No, I'm not pinky promise.
No, you don't pinky promise. Right, okay. So question 1. It's going to be an easy question. Right?
You say that.
Easy question. So, Hearts transfer business, right?
Okay.
Who is our all-time fee received?
I know the answer, it's fine.
Right? I want to know the player, and I want to know how much, and I want to know what year.
Oh, should I give you the team he moved to as well?
No,
I know that.
I don't want the team he moved to. I want the year and the fee and the player. Okay.
I can give you the year, the player, the fee, the team, the year. Don't know.
Right. So everybody's got a week to answer that, and then next week's question will be a lot harder. We'll just break him in easy, guys, because he absolutely knows nothing about football.
That is hard.
That was hard.
That is hard.
Right. Hope you've enjoyed the very first episode of Up the Park. We will see you next week.
Yep, weekly uploads.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for listening, guys.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.